and welcome to Our Kids, sponsored by Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm Pleasure Ridge Park correspondent Madison Weis. This February, we take a deeper look at the JCPS Digital Backpack program, we check out some up-and-coming entrepreneurs, and we surprise the school with a pop-up party. Plus, we have these student stories.
Before a house or simple everyday object is built, there's a blueprint design laying out the plan for construction on whatever it might be. And students in PRP's computer-aided drafting and design program are becoming those designers.
Inclusion is something we strive for here at Ballard High School. Programs like Best Buddies excel in this department by helping students with intellectual disabilities improve on the social skills they may need in the real world.
Warren Creek's Gardening Club students are blooming with creativity here at the 7th Street Community Garden.
Seniors at Marion C. Moore started preparing their backpack defenses. It was a chance for students to share their presentations in front of a panel of judges.
Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Spalding. I'm a senior in the Health Science Academy and this will be my backpack defense.
We are at Marion C. Moore and today our seniors are doing their backpack of defense.
They have a lumbar drain. How are they going to get up safely enough, and how are we going to keep the cords from pulling out that drain?
So these backpacks are kind of a way to show your work that is not always tested. So writing pieces, performance pieces, maybe just personal growth that doesn't have a test score on it, and to really take those to show that you're ready to go on to the next step of the world.
So the students are going to be presenting today a compilation of their work from high school, their best work, their projects, some artifacts that they've had, be it in high school, maybe it's some community service they're doing, and they're going to just talk to their panelists.
One such project involved planning out a route from Asia to Africa to Europe and then back into the United States.
And explain how this work has made them a prepared and resilient learner or a globally and culturally competent student. And what's really cool about the project that they're going to be presenting today is that we've seen them prepare for today, so they've been working and revising, and it's like the big stage.
What do you think your goal is as a student ambassador, so to speak, for that?
I can definitely see people, the nervousness, the nerves, but also seeing like the reaction to when they realize that they did it and they accomplished this, and I think that's a good thing that it does. It shows you that you're going to put a lot of work into this, but it's work that you've already put into your 4 years. So you're kind of just displaying that, and to be able to display what you've done and display your growth and have someone really appreciate that, I think for them it turned out to be a positive experience and something that they'll look back on and have more confidence for when they're uncomfortable in things, but they know that they can push through it, put that hard work into it, and it won't be such a scary experience when they continue to do it.
That's your senior defense.
Good job.
Excellent. Very good. Very, very good.
So the panelists will sit and listen. They have a rubric, and after the presentation they can ask questions, maybe if some things are unclear, and then at the end when the student leaves, everyone goes over their rubric to make sure students covered all of the requirements, and they determine whether or not the student super passes or maybe has to do a redo.
But when you can open it and actually expand that.
At first, we had a lot of pushback from the students. They didn't understand why they had to do this. Why didn't anyone else before us have to do this? Will you prevent us from walking across the stage? And we had to have some very serious conversations with them and explain to them, well, here we are. We want to know what you know, what you've learned. What are the skills you've acquired?
We have college applications and things like this to do, but at the same time, I kind of looked at it as like the positive, because this is kind of what I've been wanting to happen for a while, to show that people are more than an ACT score, and to show even if the ACT score, so say you got a 14 your first time and then you got a 19, that's growth. And even though that's not a benchmark, you put a lot of work and you put a lot of effort into that, and that's what you should be shown at, is that you had this growth throughout your time in high school, that it's not just these numbers, and that's what you go on to the next part of your life, being that these are the skills that we need to create an effective workforce and effective students in the next step of their life.
Be the third least costly as well as the third fastest to arrive back to the United States.
I'm hoping they leave with the experience of, what am I doing in an interview? How do I need to prepare for my next steps? Those soft skills such as shaking hands, making eye contact, public speaking, professional dress, This is just one experience that's going to prepare them for whatever their secondary plan is.
It's in our time because a lot of times we're looking at a phone, we're looking at a screen, we're looking at just the things, and I think this kind of allows everyone in the situation to stop, take a deep breath, and really look at the things that people hold inside of them that are amazing and that are beautiful and bright and that aren't a test score, that aren't just something like that. They get us to see each other as the individuals that we really are.
That was awesome. Well done, well done.
My
well
keys
done.
to success, you see the key?
I like it. I caught that under there.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
A fifth grader at Shelby Traditional Elementary presented her backpack defense at a meeting of administrators. She left a lasting impression.
I became a globally, culturally competent citizen by gaining understanding of how people that live in different areas around me got hit by Hurricane Katrina.
The backpack program, it's kind of, you get to talk about like how you accomplish these projects that you did with a group or anything, and it's actually really fun to talk about them, and it's actually really fun to work with groups at that.
My fall score for math was a 208. Area of strength, I think I'm good at multiplication, subtracting, dividing, and fractions.
When you think about, she's 10 years old, right? She's been on the planet 10 years. And when you see what she does, it is very impressive.
I was giving feedback to myself. I was like, well, Elise, I'm proud of you for like capitalizing those eyes, because it really shows a very other mature Elise.
So when they were asking questions, that was honestly the best part for me, because I like to answer people's questions, and I don't like to just like say, okay, this is my presentation, bye-bye. I like to answer their questions if they have any questions, so they don't go to like Dr. Carmen, for example. They don't go to Dr. Carmen and ask her questions about my defense, and she doesn't even know anything about it.
And I had to fix all of those mistakes. And words of wisdom I would give to people, like elementary, middle, or high, is never give up, keep pushing and pushing.
This is a way to make sure that all of our students are getting those authentic, meaningful experiences, that the things that we all kind of remember when we think about our very best learning experience. That's what we're going for all kids.
I just want to say thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys coming to this presentation and watching me present. Thank you.
Correspondent Edward Smith shows us how PRP high school students are getting real-world experience using AutoCAD.
Currently, we are drawing a gasket and dimensioning said gasket. So far, I have drawn out the actual gasket. I just need to add all the dimensions.
Alec Montgomery is just one of the many students at PRP working on this assignment, teaching them how to use professional software and the fundamentals of this career.
The different tools and stuff, which we have the actual text tools, dimension tools, and all the other miscellaneous things to modify it. So from there, we can solidify what we're drawing and how to draw it.
There's a high demand for engineers and architects and draftspeople. Employers need good people who know how to do the job, are willing to work, and are dependable. So a lot of the skills that we'll learn in this class give them, a head start on those career choices.
In the lab for this class, there are plenty of computers with a professionally used program called AutoCAD 2019. The students are working on designing objects that PRP's welding department can produce, creating a real-world situation in high school.
We do plan to work with our in-house welding shop to come up with some projects for stools for their shop and bike racks around campus.
Later this year, these students will be able to put the work they've created on the computer through a 3D printer, allowing them to even produce some classroom essentials.
The welding class, let's say one of their tools breaks and they need a new handle, we can get the dimensions of the actual tool's handle, set it up in AutoCAD, and then print out a brand new handle without ever needing to buy an actual new one.
And like many of PRP's pathways, it's constructing a promising future for students. I'm Pleasure Ridge Park High School correspondent Edward Smith reporting for Our Kids.
We have a lot more stories to come. Stay with us.
JCPS serves over 100,000 students, and with that, a lot of waste is generated.
We need to do our part to recycle because it conserves natural resources, helps the environment, and saves money.
When we recycle, we put less coal and gases into the power plants, which reduces the amount of toxins in the atmosphere.
We are JCPS and we recycle. Yeah!
Great things are beginning to happen here. We're really looking for this being a central hub, a place where we can provide supports for students, tutoring for students, classes for parents, families, ACT support, all kinds of supports that the community can get engaged with. We see this being central to our summer learning, our backpack camp initiative, and this is the type of work that is so important.
Welcome back to Our Kids. I'm PRP High School correspondent Madison Weis. Stouffer Elementary third graders created their own shark market. It was an opportunity for students to use entrepreneurial skills, build a business plan, and see it all in action.
It's called Macy's Dreamy Shop, and I'm selling sleep masks, and you can match your dolls with it, and then sleeping bags and pillows.
So today we're here at Stouffer Elementary, and we're having the Shark Market, which is an annual collaborative economics project that the third graders do.
My business is caramel apples with or without sprinkles, and we're selling free slime with that.
They have used literature and research to learn about different economic vocabulary terms like producers, consumers, goods, services, supply, and demand.
What kind of cards do you have? $5 for this.
And the point is to give them real-world, authentic learning experiences, you know, for what an entrepreneur would be like.
And you can do all sorts of colors and patterns, like this one, it has like 3 colors.
They're having a real-world, authentic experience with economics. They've all planned businesses. So they have had the choice to go into business by themselves or with a partner. So they've had to make those choices. They've been earning income in their classroom for things like good work and behavior.
This row is cherry. Well, we had to make the lip gloss. First we had to stir it a lot and mix it, and then we had to put it in the containers. You could buy one, you get one free. And most of all, they're $3 only, so we got gluten-free.
We've had all kinds of goods and services. We have everything from home-baked goods to nail salons, face painting, slime seems to be a really popular one this year, as well as stress balls.
Each one has a different stamp. Like this is a dragon, hand me a butter cake, and this would be a flower. First you have to pay $2. And then you have to spin a wheel. And then, so you get a medium. So these are our mediums.
There are skills and vocabulary and principles that'll carry with them through life, and because it's such a real-world setting, the learning becomes deeper, it becomes inherent to them, and so it means something to them other than just something that they've read in a book.
I think it's really cool how they're letting children actually do something and like prepare them for the outside world.
Lincoln Elementary Performing Arts School got a big surprise one morning with an attendance pop-up party. Local celebrities welcomed the students to school and they celebrated with a dance party.
Submit to lesson 6. Every day counts.
We are here at Lincoln Elementary Performing Arts School. Today we had our kickoff to celebrating student attendance. So with local celebrities.
That is Kelly, and you guys are here because you have perfect attendance.
We danced to some of our favorite songs. Students received prizes for coming to school every day, and we set a goal and made a promise to ourselves that we will not miss more than 6 days of school during the school year.
Like you have to stay in school to learn new things and like just be here. Just stay in class and don't. Yeah, stay in school, kids. Stay in school.
It is one of the most important things that we get students to school every single day, and that's why we are beginning this Every Day Counts and Attendance Matters campaign in JCPS.
I'm Ja'Cory Arthur, aka 1200. Every day counts.
Be here every day, all day.
I think this demonstrates that our community loves and cares about our children, and if students come to school every day, our community will thrive and be strong. Promise for our future.
Every day that a student misses school is so critical, and we need you here each and every day. All 100,000 of our students, we need you here each and every day, and it is so important to the success of our district, our schools, and most importantly, our students.
Miss lesson 6?
Every day counts.
How many days count?
Every day.
Kenwood Elementary is moving in the right direction with their attendance initiative. Let's see the strategies they are using to increase attendance.
I'm the principal of Kenwood Elementary, and we are talking about the success that we've had with improving attendance.
So these were put together for every student who has had perfect attendance.
We know at the elementary level that kids can't get themselves here necessarily. Being a parent's tough. There are a lot of challenges that go into being a parent in today's society. We've been working on recognizing our children, so let's look to recognize the people who get them here.
Our first parent shout out that we did, we had a student who has been chronically absent in the past just because of lots of challenges within the family. But her mom has really been diligent about getting her to school and making attendance a priority this year. So we wanted her to be recognized, and so we decided to do a parent shout out to recognize her. And it was just really powerful to see her reaction, her appreciation just for being recognized for that.
They were wood and they were heavy. So what did the sports engineers do?
Kind of building that team atmosphere between the school and the home, letting them know that we're in this together, it really is a team approach.
The Shawnee Masonic Lodge dropped off 2 bikes that they wanted to be raffled off for perfect attendance.
I said, well, I want a bike for everybody that has perfect attendance. I'm like, okay, high order, but we'll see what we can do. And like she said, we've gotten, donations and, staff, when we see how many we need, staff will say, I'll get one, I'll get one, I'll get one.
This is my 12th year here, and then the family honor roll that we just celebrated was one of the most impactful opportunities that we've had to date. To see the pride, the reciprocal pride, the pride that the parents had in their children, and then more importantly, the pride that the children had in their parents being here at school and getting recognized, bucket filling.
They had the parent come up and talk about their child and what their child, how excited they were for their child, and then that also means that that child's been driving that mom crazy or that dad crazy. I gotta go to school, I've gotta get there.
You never know when just that small little recognition is going to be a game changer for the rest of their lives.
Correspondent Chaz Cave follows Fern Creek High School students out to a local community garden as they are working to improve the site.
My name is John Hull. We are here at the 7th Street Community Garden. It is the largest community garden in the city of Louisville. We're here helping Bethany Pratt, who is the manager of the Louisville Community Gardens, and she manages each of the 17 community gardens. So today we're doing a couple different things. We are filling up potholes in their gravel driveway. We are putting plot signs up for the community gardens. There are over 240 plots here. And so we've got what we're doing is basically putting in plot signs so it makes it easier for people to know where they're gardening, and then if any kind of tensions arise between people, they kind of know where their space is. It's really important to have this type of green space in our city because one, it's green space, it lowers kind of the heat island effect that we've got going on, but also it's a public health issue, and providing kind of green space and gardens for people to grow food in allows people to have access to fresh, healthy food. So this is also part of our Fern Creek High School 4-H program, and we're doing some service for the community, which is a part of 4-H. And we're out here kind of connecting our school garden with the gardens of Louisville, which is important to us to know that what we do at Fern Creek is not just a school thing, but what we do is part of a larger movement to integrate gardens and urban agriculture into kind of the fabric of our city.
Fern Creek gardening students are showing off their green thumbs. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Chaz Cave.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories about JCPS.
1, 2, 3. Welcome to our satellite office. Some of the services that we will provide will be in 5 different departments: diversity, equity, and poverty, exceptional childhood education, student assignment, student relations, and Title I offices. Great things are beginning to happen here. We're really looking for this being a central hub, a place where we can provide supports for students, tutoring for students, classes for parents, families, ACT support, all kinds of supports that the community can get engaged with. We see this being central to our summer learning, our backpack camp initiative. And this is the type of work that is so important.
Welcome back to Our Kids. I'm PRP High School correspondent Madison Weis. A student at Cameron Middle School is a shining example of implementing his digital backpack. In fact, he made a big impression on his principal.
This is Cameron Middle School. Perfect. And then make sure you refresh your count.
I'm Darius. I'm an 8th grader here at Cameron Middle School.
Darius came in new this year. We started with map testing, and as soon as we got those scores, we were talking about uploading to your backpack. We've been talking about the backpack. And with this backpack, all of my kids are going to be able to say, hey, look what I was able to do. I was able to do this, and it shows that I'm an effective collaborator. I can learn.
Just click anything. Then you got to go to the waffle. Yeah, you can go down and click backpack.
It actually brought a tear to my eye thinking of him. I was doing instructional rounds or classroom walkthroughs.
Mr. Armour, come here. I know how to put stuff in my backpack now. It's like, sure. He just showed me, and I did it.
And Darius was the first one to call me over to brag about, Mr. Armour, look at my map score. I've already uploaded my math score in there.
I was like happy because it's the principal, and I did it.
It's what it's all about. Made my day.
Where do you think that needs to go? Yeah, prepared and resilient.
That's where this backpack helps. Every kid can learn regardless of where they are, what they're able or capable of doing. We just have to make sure that they know they can learn and they know that what they're doing is correct and the right thing to do.
One of the successes is that every student in our building is actually engaged. Out of 979, all 979 have at least one artifact in their backpack. It's been an opportunity for students to have a voice in choosing what they see as backpack-worthy evidence.
I've been a leader in my classroom to help people get in their Google backpack and help them how to download stuff and put them in their Google backpack.
Students at Wheeler Elementary designed their own tiny houses. It was a fun way to learn about math concepts such as area and perimeter.
Over here is my porch, and I have the area and perimeter in there.
We are at Wheeler Elementary, and this is our tiny house project. The tiny house project was a project-based learning experience to help them to learn area and perimeter.
This was just a really fun project. Each morning I was excited to wake up and just know that I was going to school doing this project because it was just super fun.
The end point is that they'd measure and accurately be able to identify area and perimeter, but more than that, it's that they're taking all of these and being able to apply them to a real life situation.
Most of us got to meet our clients.
We had people from all over the district make videos for us, and they sent them to us, and the kids watched all those videos, and then they chose their client. It's kind of a real world experience where they were able to apply area and perimeter into something that they may do as adults when they may design their own house or when they go to buy a home. We wanted to try something different that would be fun and would be engaging and give them a real life experience. You know, even though they had to make drafts and make changes, it was okay because it wasn't just, look, you missed half this worksheet, redo the whole thing. It was, okay, we didn't meet our clients' needs, and because they were so invested, I think that made it more fun for them, and they were resilient.
This will help me, if I'm building my own house, if I'm putting a fence around, if I get a dog, if I'm building a new room in a house, I need to know the square footage and how much square feet I want to take up.
Something that was very eye-opening to me is when you asked a kid to redo an assignment, they might be very hesitant, but here we asked them to do their first draft, and they were even like, oh, this is what I need to fix, or this is what I'm going to do in my second draft. And so it was without prompting, they were making changes, and the project was meaningful to them. I think that it has definitely made us more intentional about the ways that we teach things and making sure that in everything that we do, not just this project, but that, how are we teaching kids to be effective communicators? How are we teaching them to be resilient? How are we teaching them to be emerging innovators? This project was able to hit several of the backpack skills, and it was nice to see this early on in the year. The kids feel so excited about our project.
They talk about how this is something that they can add to their backpack. They feel like they're in charge of their learning. They were in charge of this project. Each and every one of them made their own tiny house. It wasn't a group project. They worked together to help each other and give each other feedback, but they each were in charge of their own project and their learning.
It is something that other schools can do, and my co-teacher and I definitely were hesitant through this. And even in the middle of it, when we had graph paper everywhere, when they were doing their 3D model, we were just like, is this hard work going to pay off? Are they going to master it more than they've mastered it in the past? We got to see the kids' different strengths. Some of them were very quick to solve area and perimeter. Others of them were great at building the walls and finding the area of those walls. Others of them were great at meeting the client's needs. Others of them were great at giving feedback. And so I think that's why this project meant so much to us, and it was worth the extra effort and just the extra planning, because we got to see all the different facets of that.
If I built my own house and I didn't know this, I wouldn't know how big my house should be, how big my rooms would really be. I just wouldn't know that.
Correspondent Sophia Gay introduces us to the Best Buddy program at Ballard High School.
My name is Noelle Barnes, and I am one of the exceptional child educators here at Ballard. Best Buddies is a national organization that serves individuals with intellectual disabilities and pairs them with neurotypical peers. And they are partnered one-on-one with a neurotypical peer that develops a friendship both inside and outside of Ballard. So going to sporting events, we do have Best Buddy events. We have over 100 members of Best Buddies this year and 100% participation for our students with intellectual disabilities. It's truly an incredible program and has promoted inclusion like we could never dream.
During school hours, students also have the opportunity to peer tutor.
Being a peer tutor gives me a new perspective on the students, and it's so fun to see them grow and learn and how they change throughout the year.
Students have described peer tutoring as a great bonding experience that's given them a whole new perspective.
I think being a peer tutor means that I can make new friendships with everybody, and I just really like how I've made so many new peers and people that I've never met before.
The work that peer tutors like Carly and Alexis do is impactful for students with intellectual disabilities, not only towards their social skills, but their academics.
It's a wonderful way to include our students. It's kind of a reverse inclusion model as opposed to our students going out into the general classroom where the academics are very difficult for our students. Having this reverse inclusion allows our kiddos to bring in those typically functioning peers to learn their functional skills in a more safe and structured environment.
I'm Ballard correspondent Sophia Gay for Our Kids.
Thanks for watching our show. You can watch entire episodes of Our Kids on the JCPS YouTube channel. Until next time, keep supporting Our Kids.